Hello everybody, a very good afternoon. I hope you're well and I hope you've enjoyed the day. Now, if you haven't seen any of the earlier shows, do not worry. You can watch them back at any time that you like. We were on at 11 a.m, also 2 o'clock this afternoon. And now, of course, the last live show of our day. Wherever you're watching us, if you're in the UK, if you're in Europe, if you're across the USA, you're more than welcome to this. We do this once a month. I know there's lots of Carnation TV shows to watch during the month, but once a month we launch a brand new collection just for you, not available anywhere else for a period of time. And that's what we've done today. If you love your embroidery and you love your lace, this collection is going to be right up your street. Now, we've shown you lots of different types of collections within the collection, so various different sizes you can pick and choose on the website and see those. But not surprisingly, what we find most of you, not all but most, go for is the buy the show. Now, here it is. You can see this wonderful embroidery collection that you can see in front of me here. This is the actual checkout if you want to buy the show. So in other words, you've got the Carnation Crafts Embroidery and Lace collection, the main bundle for $99.99. We've got then the perfect papers, which I know loads of you love to put into your order as well, because that will work and coordinate with the artwork, the vignettes. That's in there at $14.99. And a very, very special, extra special treat we've put in as well to the day today, the open heart die set. Now, the best way of describing that to you, I likened it to having like a card locket. You know how precious lockets are, heart lockets, you maybe wear one and you've got pictures, you know, of your nearest and dearest in there. Well, this is a card version of that sort of idea, but much bigger. And that's $22.99. So put it all in your basket and it comes to $137.97. But we have got a very special discount code for you, so thank you from us really for watching the show. It's CCEL10. CCEL10. We've put that in the actual promo code box. That takes £13.80, 10% off, and no shipping and handling or P&P because you've spent over £50. And that's the rule in the UK. If you spend over £50 with Carnation Crafts, you do not have to pay postage at all. If you're watching in the USA, which I know many of you will be now, it's a bit later in the day for you. You know, maybe it's early morning or whatever. If you are watching us in the US, it's $4.95 postage for you, shipping and handling for the main collection. If you want to put, say, the perfect papers in, that adds the weight obviously to your order. That again goes to $14.95 shipping and handling if you fancy having the main collection and the perfect papers as well. But it's what these can do. Let me just show you what's in this collection and then we'll see Carla. Taz is here, by the way, as well. All of us are here together as a team, which I know we love doing every month. Here you've got these beautiful, basically matting and layering dies, and also this incredibly beautiful detailed, we likened it to a Tudor rose earlier on. Lots of you said you saw a Tudor rose in there. You get your diamond thread work, you get your DL, very popular shape of card at the moment. You get the same design in the DL, and you also get the same design in the circle, but you've got your matte and layer dies as well on the outside edge. You've also got the nearly grown up. Now, when you look at that, you kind of think, what is that? It's actually a little person in a big person's jumper. Can you remember that from your childhood? I certainly can. And over this side, we've got the mini nested nameplates, and these work in absolute harmony with these dies, but also they work on their own. And then down the bottom, in the main collection, you don't get the sentiments, just those there. They're available as a separate item, okay, because they have been on air before, so they're not included in the big bundle or the buy the show, but you can buy them if you want to. But what you will be getting in the buy the show are these beautiful florals. You've then got the cozy tea with the tea cozy on the actual teapot, and then you've got your freshly picked flowers there as well. So all of this works together well to make beautiful cards just like this. Look at this. Now, Janine Dawson's done this one. Look at these wonderful vibrant colours. This is the one that says nearly grown up, with a little boy, or it could be a little girl actually, either or, in the mum and dad's oversized jumper. But my favourite, I must admit, in this entire collection is the heart. I've just got to show you some of the finished cards of the heart. They're buried here. So bear with me. Here they are.
Did I put all my stuff on it, Dave?
Here we go. Here they are. Look at this. I said it's like a locket, but a card. Sue Derimple's done this one. And as you can see, just one side of it in this case is opened up. You could have both sides opening up, or you don't have to have it opening at all. But look at that. See why I liken it to a locket? Isn't it just gorgeous? That is available separately, and it's been a very, very good seller today. Lots of you put this in your basket just on its own. So if your budget's like £20 odd, £25, it's $22.99 for all the dies to make a card just like this. I've got another one here as well, quickly to show you. Again, this opens up beautifully. So just lift, there we are, look at this. You can have a concealed message inside or a couple of love hearts that have been drawn. It could have a picture inside it as well. But I think you'll agree, isn't that just stunning? And again, as always with Carnation Crafts, the vignettes, in other words the artwork, the posh artwork, is available to print off, download right now at carnationcrafts.co.uk. If you don't necessarily see the main bundle come up on the screen straight away on the home page, just search for Embroidery and Lace and it will pop up there for you, and then you can enjoy the artwork and print it off straight away. As I say, Carla's here. It's our third show of the day on this, the first day of the launch of Embroidery and Lace. What a day it's been.
It's been a day. It's been a day. So in between shows, this time Miss Phyllis and Dave high-fived several times. Yes. And Dave then went off and had a conversation with Miss Phyllis and promised he'd Zoom her.
And I introduced her to Maisie, my cat, as well. She wasn't impressed.
It's been quite the day. It's been quite the day. Just saying.
Now look at these dies. I mean, obviously this is the artwork I was talking about. So stunning red Tudor Roses is what I saw, and I think lots of you agreed with that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of different takes on it. Tudor Roses seems to be the most popular, and then we've also, a few people have said it's got kind of an oriental theme to it. It's very, very pretty, isn't it? So you've got all of these roses that come in, and you can see it just kind of looks like it's been stitched. It's really clever how Nick and the team have done it. Really, really clever. I love the fact that it's got the little cut lines on each rose. I love the fact we're going to be able to build with that. I love the fact that if you cut it twice, you can decoupage that central part and start raising it out. I love the fact that you've got your card base and your mats. As you would expect with Carnation, we never expect less than that, do we? Because it's important in the card building that everything goes together. That's the circle, and we go on then to have the DL. And as I've explained before, but just for those of you who are just joining us, where you see you've got the rose here and you've got the wee egg timer shape there, you've got 2 roses at the top and 2 at the bottom, and those egg timer shapes match exactly onto this. So they sit aponst each other perfectly. Aponst.
I like that word.
They stick aponst. And you can put them all together so they all work sort of symbiotically, which is really lovely. So you've got the circle, you've got the DL, and you've got the diamond.
If I just give you
3
that,
shapes.
this shows you how they can layer.
Aponst.
Aponst. That's a new, I love that word. I'm going to use that word.
They can layer aponst each other. And so you can get this beautiful shaping and layering that goes on, especially when you're using those free backing papers. They are very, very powerful as a die. It's an incredibly impactful card to send somebody, and it's very unusual, right? Which is what we want. We want things that can't be seen anywhere else.
So I talked about the vignettes being free, but so are the backing papers on the website right now too, and that's a lovely thing. You can place your order now, and I know throughout the day today, in between shows, as you've ordered, it's been picked, it's been packed, it's been posted before we've actually come on air with the next show. That's how quickly we're getting these out to you. So if once you've made your order, stay on the website and then just go to the vignettes, the downloads, download all the artwork, print it off, and look out for those backing papers as well, because all the colours are going to coordinate.
Yeah, it will all come together, and that's what Carnation do so well. Before I move on to the next board, I just want to say as well, as a shout out to it, when you see these on black card, don't they look amazing? We have a tendency to make white backs and mats and layers, but actually these are so strong, they're so powerful, that if you put them on black card at the back, if you mat them on black, they look incredible. And I just thought that was worth showing, because often we want to send masculine cards, and if that's the case, black backing on here is perfect for it.
Now, I didn't mention this at the beginning of the show, but we do have ways of spreading the cost interest free. So if you want to buy the show, but you're thinking, oh, £124.17 in one go with everything, the perfect papers and the heart dies, you can enjoy 4 payments, up to 4 payments on ClearPay, and up to 3 payments on PayPal Pay in 3. So your payment with ClearPay will only be £31.04, the first payment, and then if you do PayPal Pay in 3, that will be £41.39 if you want to spread the cost. Just thought I'd mention that.
Bagging. Yeah. Bagging. So we're going to move on and look at these. I said it before, I'll say it again. If you're buying just one set, this is going to take you throughout the crafting journey for the next 50 years. You'll use them again and again. They are nameplates, essentially, is what they're called. I would call them nested sentiments, because they are perfect for putting your stamps on with all your different sentiments. And obviously they match in with the main frames that you can see on this show. Brilliant for framing out the corners of things. Brilliant for using them as an actual sort of starting point for your card. So if you created the L with these on the side of your card, card, put one of these shapes on top in the corner, and then spread your florals through. It's going to look incredible as a starting base on your card.
And if you're thinking, where's that kind of colouring come from? Have you used Distress ink or something like that? No, these are the vignettes. They even give you vignettes for these.
Yep. Carnation just take care of the whole process. I love Carnation for that. Everything's taken care of. You don't need to worry, it's all there for you. Now, very quickly, I don't know if Dave did this or not, but I did stop listening at one point, which is not unusual for me. When you want the artwork...
None taken.
When you want the artwork for your vignettes, these are vignettes, is the painting. It's so Nick and the team. Nick has a little team of mice at the Carnation HQ. So Nick and the arty mice all work together and they create these vignettes for us. So Nick and the arty mice make these, they put them on the website and you download them as a PDF and you cut them with the dies that you're buying on the show. So vignette is just a fancy word for artwork. And so you go to the website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. When you're on the website, you go to the banner menu at the top and you click downloads and then free downloads or vignette downloads for dies, whichever. It'll bring you to this page here, and normally the most recent is at the top, but if it's not, you can just click on collections and choose embroidery and lace for this one, and you just download your main collection. They're free. There will be a couple on there that have got a price on it. That's because they've got different colorways, but you can get your backing papers there for free, and usually there's some inserts there as well that you can get for free. There you are, you can see them at the bottom of the screen. You want to get the original colorway, that's going to be free. You can see it in the middle, it says Carnation Crafts Embroidery and Lace Collection Original Color Download. You download that and it comes into a PDF folder on your machines, on your computers. You open it in Adobe if possible. Now I will say at this point, and it's the first time I've said it, it's the first time I've remembered to say it, Adobe had an update about 2 months ago, and since then Adobe has not been playing nice with a lot of computers. It's nothing to do with Carnation, it is unfortunately an Adobe issue. As far as I'm aware, from what I can see on the forums, they are working at sorting it out. Some of you may have issues, some of you may not, but it is a bit of a, you know, a pain, but there are other software programs you can use to open them with. Adobe just works with your color profile best.
I love the fact that you can make your order now, the guys will pack it, pick it and post it within the next few minutes. And then your dies will arrive in a day or two's time, but you've got that artwork to enjoy now, and what you print it onto is entirely up to you. We recommend Pro paper, which we've got on our website of course as well, but you can print onto all sorts, rice paper, vellum, all sorts of things.
I think the more progressive you get with your crafting, the more you're willing to have a bit of an experiment with stuff, right? So as we start going forward, we start to print on different kind of mediums, those kind of things. Your best friend's always going to be Pro print paper. It makes a huge difference. You can't see this as well as I would like you to be able to on camera, but this is a mirrored vignette. A mirrored vignette means it has the image on the back and the front of the die once you've cut it, the die cut. So it has this line down the front of it. You fold your paper on the black line. Don't fold it in half. The black line is your guide. You fold it on there, spray glue the inside, pop your die on top and cut it out. It will be the same on the back as it is on the front. So you can have it facing either way so you get double for your money.
And Carnation were the first company to do the double-sided vignettes, front and back, left and right. Think of them in that way. If you know you're not going to use the reverse, then obviously just print the single-sided vignettes to save your ink. But if you are going to see them maybe on layers and that sort of thing, it's nice to have the colour on the front and the back.
Yeah, absolutely. So Pro Print and Standard is it here, so you can see this is your standard paper. It's a little bit washed out, it's a little bit sort of murky, whereas when you've got your Pro Print, you've got the very, very rich colours. The comparison is huge. Now, unfortunately, we've got so many studio lights on that you won't quite see the comparison as well at home, but believe me, it's enormous. You can just see it on his shoulder as it goes round. You've got this kind of dull brown here, but you've got a reddish brown here, and it should all be the same. You can see on the main ones, you've got that red colour coming through. You don't have it on standard colours, and that's why when we get so many questions that say when I print mine out they don't look the same as Carnations, it's because we only ever print on Pro Print. And I will say Pro Print has a shiny side and a dull side, like a rough side. You need to print out on the shiny side. That's going to make the difference.
And it seems a sin to kind of, you know, invest some money in dies and great artwork and then let it down with inferior paper. So Pro paper is on the website if you want, in various different GSMs. You can add that to your order if you want to.
So this little set, I love this. You've got the beautiful teapot, you've got the lovely little mouse. We always like the mice from Carnation. They're so sweet, aren't they? They're just adorable. You've got your little basket of floof, you've got your warm hugs. It all comes together to create this gorgeous set, which can be used on its own, and I love it. The teapot has stolen my heart. I think it's incredible. The mouse always steals my heart. So this is Nick. He's got a crafty team of mice, so we'll have to work out which one of his crafty team that might be. Look at these.
Oh.
Aren't they fancy? They're so fancy.
And they stand alone. You don't need to use those with other dies in the collection. They just stand alone beautifully, don't they?
I think if you were making a tiny, tiny little card here, like a 3x3 or a 4x4, and just have that in the centre with a sentiment underneath or tucked in at the top, it would just be stunning exactly as it is. They have the decoupage elements so you can build them up, but you can use those separately, and I used them separately a lot when I was doing this. So cut extras of these because you'll be able to just make a load of use of them, and they're absolutely awesome to have as little pieces to put through and tuck-ins as well. Look at this little chap.
Now, where did the idea from this come from? I just think it's beautiful. I can remember putting my dad's jumpers on when I was a kid and wanted to wear, the grown-up clothes, all that sort of thing. It's just great.
It is. It's awesome. I have a feeling this could, of course, as well have come from Nick and Mark saying, do you think she's ever going to grow up? Ever? And possibly it stemmed from there. But I love this. It's so cute. You've got little head coming out the top of this massive oversized jumper. Cute as a button with a little sentiment at the bottom here. If you just snip around the sleeves, you could have his little hands overhanging that sentiment because you've got the mat for it, so it would be super cute. He could be holding on while he is just drowning in that jumper. It's so sweet and so nostalgic, isn't it? There's something very lovely about it. And also it's the detail work of the jumper. They didn't just put him in a plain jumper, they've added all the colours that bring all the elements from your perfect papers through, so it works absolutely with the rest of the collection.
I tell you, he'd be on a day like this, wouldn't he?
Oh, it'd be a bit wham, be a bit maffed in. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the showstopper. Other people may have different opinions, but this is incredible. That is just so beautiful. There's something gorgeous about it. Work it in different ways, so don't just use it as one piece unless obviously you can, but make sure you're using it in all the ways you can. Snip from the basket and you've got your little flowers separate, and you can then tuck those into here. Use the little sack on its own. You'll be seeing this in a demo today where I've cut the flowers away. So if you do decide to use these and you don't use the sack, keep the sack. Don't just throw it away, keep it, because you'll be able to use it in alternative ways. You've got your little lavenders there. This, as we were just saying, you've got a mirrored vignette, so it would be flipped. You can stick the two together and have a whole bouquet. It depends which way you want to do it, but what an awesome piece to have. And that, my friends, is the embroidery and lace collection.
Superb. Now, I've got to say hello to a few of you that are getting in touch on Facebook. I know you can watch us on YouTube and also on carnationcrafts.co.uk. Elaine Padmore, hi Elaine, she's watching at the moment. Alexis McCauley, Sue Phillips Hickey says good evening, Carla, Dave and Taz. Lorraine Beakers says hi from Estepona. Hi again, Jenny West. Hi Jenny, nice to know you're watching again. Doreen Klish says good evening, Dave, Carla and Taz. So looking forward to seeing this collection. Looks gorgeous. I'm back again, Judy Jackson. Glad you are, Judy. Evening, Carla, Dave and Taz. Another stunning collection. I was adamant I didn't need any more collections as I nearly have them all, but of course my willpower has gone out the window and the collection and heart had gone into my basket. Nice one. And finally, Dina Farrell says, OMG, Dave Bradford, lovely to see you. And you too, Dina. Thank you for tuning in. Lovely to know that you're watching.
Always lovely to see Mr.
Great
Bradford.
to see you too. Now, I've got to show you this. This card really jumped out at me. This is Sue Dalrymple. I've said your name quite a few times, Sue, today. All of the design team have excelled themselves, but just look at this. This is like a bit like an exploding box, and some. I mean, it's a flower box and a half.
It's a cacophony of beauty.
It is, and it all folds flat as well. But this is how far you can take it if you want to. It really is, and that's mixing in, of course, that lovely heart, which is a separate item, but that will be included if you buy the show. You'll get the entire collection minus the sentiments, and you'll get the heart dies, and you'll also get a pack of perfect papers if you buy the show for just over £120. And by the way, if I just show you, I'll just put this next to the perfect papers. You can see the yellow of the roses, you can see the reds of the flowers, and of course the colour of the tea cosy. All the colours that have been used, if I just move this in a little bit, you can see that all of these perfect papers just coordinate so well with it, and that's making a massive difference. Because sometimes, Carla was saying this earlier on, and we've all been there, where we've made something, thought, you're going to be delighted with it, and there's something wrong, but you're not quite sure what it is. Is it because a colour clash has happened? That happens so often, but when you've got the perfect papers, 48 sheets, 300 GSM, so a lovely good thick quality cardstock, that's only $14.99, and it's just the icing on the cake. You know, everything's going to work.
Yeah, I think it's the power, isn't it, of knowing that when you've bought it and when you get it home, no matter what you make, it's going to look beautiful. That's important. And certainly for me, when I started on my crafting journey, as far as card making was concerned, I started making cards with Carnation, so I was very blessed. And since then, when I've made other cards and I don't have that handhold, so I don't have the perfect papers, I don't have the inserts, and I don't have the backing papers where that colour's been sorted for me, I struggle, because I'm like, ooh, they're making me do it on my own, and I don't know how. So it's just one of those things that I take for granted because it's always there and I can always use it. But actually, it's an incredibly powerful thing. Can I have
a favourite, Carla? This has to be my favourite.
Listen, I always say I've got favourite dies. What I'll say about this, and I've said it, earlier today, I'm going to say this for the rest of the time until Nick comes out with the next. This is the most versatile die I think you'll ever buy. And I genuinely mean that.
I'm speaking personally from my mum's experience. She owns a locket. It's not a heart-shaped one, it's a round one. It's probably the most prized possession. That and a watch are probably the most prized possessions that she owns because it's a sentimental value.
Yeah.
It's what's in that locket. I've not looked inside what my mum's locket has, to be honest, for a long time. I just see her wear it. She's got something in there. It might be a picture of my dad. It might be a picture of me. I've got no idea.
Could have a curl of your hair from when you were a bubba.
Could be. Who knows? But I mean, that's the thing. Lockets are special. They hold memories, cherished memories, and that's what this is. It's a locket card that you can make. Whether you want the doors to open or not, it's entirely up to you. You can make them open if you want to.
So as we look at the board here, just to show you've got the different elements that come through. So what you've got is your main base card, which is the piece you see in white on the outline. You don't have to use that, but if you're making a card that is made up from the full piece, of course you would cut that twice. You've got your matte layer, and then you have got your elements that come on top of it. Now, it doesn't stop there. You've also got this piece, which is separate to the heart. It's a separate die. So you can cut it in a different colour, or you can cut it and use it alternatively. So lots of us have got the nested dies from Carnation with various different shapes, and we can use that on those as well. So you can use it in different ways. Don't just think it's just for this heart, you can use it alternatively. You've got your main panel here. It's got the hinges at the side, which have got little pip marks, so you can cut them off. This has 3 pip marks down the centre, which means we can cut it in the middle and we can use it as a little doorway. So you can have stuff tucked behind. Just pick that up there, and you've got your center panel here. Now what they did on the center panel is also put the 3 pips in. Now they could have just made that flat, but they decided not to, because if you want to be able to open this out from the inside and you want something behind it and you don't want it to be seen, we glue that panel down and open the panel from the inside.
So clever.
What else you get with this as well, as you can see on the metal, is you get the dies here, these little inserts. Can you see? You've got an extra die. So you've got the cut panel here, which you use, which does not have a cutting edge. Can you see? Mm-hmm. So this piece doesn't have a cutting edge, so you put it in with the frame round it. But what we can do is cut those separately, because you've got your mats and layers here to cut those half die shapes.
So that means you could put, I don't know, a couple, maybe if a couple have got engaged, civil partnership, wedding, whatever it might be, anniversary, you can put whatever you want behind the doors of the heart. I just think it's such a clever concept to have it as a card rather than a piece of jewellery. That will probably always stay on the mantelpiece. You know, that's ornamental. It's not something that says happy anniversary or happy birthday that you have to put in a drawer a week later.
Well, that's like a decoration, doesn't it? Yeah. It's got its own value on its own without it being anything else.
And that on its own is only $22.99. Really is great, and you'll use that all year round for all sorts of celebratory occasions. 220812 is your item number. 220812. If that's all you want today, that's fine. But if you want it in the Buy the Show, where you get that, the main bundle, and also of course the perfect papers, that's That's what an awful lot of you are going for, and that will be the deal today. We're giving you, remember, that 10% code that you just put into the promo box when you check out, CCEL10, and that takes it down from 137.97 down to 124.17, and that's a delivered price because there's no P&P if you're buying that. If you're spending over £50, we never charge you postage here at Carnation Crafts in the UK. In the US, it's $4.95 if you buy the main collection, and if you want papers in or something like that, or pro paper, that'll be another $10, so $14.95 shipping and handling for you, because obviously it has to come across the pond to you. But you can order no matter where you're watching, and I know a lot of you are watching in the States. In this particular, it's what, 5 o'clock, 5:30 coming up to 5:30 in the UK, so obviously it's daytime in the US now, so we have a bigger audience there, so welcome to you if you're watching in America. Okay, we'll do some more roundups for you and reminders a bit later on, but on this really hot sunny afternoon, I hope you're staying well and you're staying in the shade and staying with us. We'll do a demo, is that all right?
Yes, can I just say, we've got Linda Wilson on here. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but Linda, I'm pretty sure it's your anniversary today, so happy anniversary if I've remembered correctly. If I haven't, forgive me, because my brain is like one of those sausages that's all squishy. Right, so we're going to have a look at that card, the frame that is the circle, and we did have a look at it in the last show, but I'm just going to point out some bits for you. So it does have a set edge to it, and it doesn't all match. So you can see you've got sort of rounded pieces here and then smaller rounded pieces here. So you do have to get that positioning correct, because if you don't, if you're just out, then it won't sit quite together. So you're looking to make sure they absolutely match. My advice to you, you do whatever you like, is once you've scored and you've found your top, I usually, when I'm working with this at home, make sure it's matched. Don't do this with a Sharpie at home, obviously, because that's not the way to go. But for the show, just to show you how I would do it, is I make sure they're perfectly matched before I ever go any further. And I just create a little mark so that I know which is my top and central point, and it just makes it easier when I'm sticking them together without me having to try and rotate and rotate and rotate to get it right.
And we did do a little bit of an experiment in the last show, that was at 2 o'clock this afternoon, in that if you wanted to make this into an easel card like this, or tent card, sorry, like this, it won't roll. Because you've got the kind of corrugated edge to it. So
beautiful for easel cards.
Yeah.
But also, you know, I am very much of the ilk that a card should not only have one use. So for me, any card shape should really be made into an easel if it can. I've done this and got it to the top, and now I'm getting it all the muddled way around. Just bear with me. Hold on. I'm so hopeless at all of this stuff, Dave. It's the shaping up. There we go.
There you go.
So you can see I didn't quite put it centrally. That's my... When you're at home, do it centrally. Make sure you've got it exactly where it needs to be on your edges, and then push down and push across. Linda says, indeed it is, Carla.
Oh.
Thank you. And also it's Linda's birthday as well in a couple of days. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Linda. Happy anniversary for today.
Look at me having a memory. It's very rare.
I'm impressed.
Me too. Because I never have a good memory. So I've got this panel here. Now normally I raise these up for you, or normally I have tape on the back, and we go through that process, but we do get asked a lot about, you know, how that process goes ahead. And I know it might seem obvious to a lot of you, but there are brand new crafters here, so let's show you the process from the beginning. I've done this on a couple of demos through this series, just so you can see that process.
What would you call that colour? So what's the colour of your nail polish?
I would call it wine, I think.
Right.
It's like a wine colour, red wine colour. So when I'm using foam tape, I always go for my central point first, and I just place down. I push it with my nail at the bottom so I get the edge. Now what I will say about foam tape is it curls. So if you just lay it straight flat, it often makes your mat curl. So you're going to bend it back on itself and just get that out of it before it does that, and you're just going to gently drop it into place, and it will drop. Give it a snip, and then it stays straight, and it stays straight, so it's not bending your mat. Same again here, and same again at the other side. So for newcomers, that's the way I do it. We have had lots of questions. I know it sounds obvious to those who have been crafting for a long time, but we all start somewhere, right?
And I know loads of you ask where Carla gets her double-sided foam tape from. The answer is the local DIY store. Because is it used for double glazing?
I buy it from glazers. Yeah,
right.
So double glazing, it's the insulation tape you get around double glazing.
Oh, okay.
So it's nothing fancy, it's just cheap and easy, really. And you get lots for your money because they come on whacking great big rolls. I'm pretty sure somebody has said they sell it on the Zon. And you can get it from, I think, like places like B&M as well. Like they just sell it. Just go on the hunt, you'll find it. But the ones I buy obviously are enormous industrial rolls like this because I go through so much of it. When I'm working on panels like this, I raise them usually. So I've got this on a 5mm as well, so I can give it lots of height. That's a 3mm that I did my mat with. This is a 5mm. And I raise it so I can have some shadow and also so I can have some lift from that base card because I want to pull this very dark red away from the very dark red at the bottom. I just want to give it a little bit of lift. So it's just got a little standing out point. I'm not going to take all of these off, there's no reason, but I will make sure I've taken the central off. I'm going to look at it a little bit like a clock.
While you're doing that, Judy Reynolds has said on Facebook, "Hi guys, good to see you both. Nice to hear from you as well, Judy. Looking good," she says. "Great show as always."
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
kind, Judy. Thank you.
And nice to know you're loving the collections as well. We've been busy for this since last yesterday afternoon when you did a bit of a sneak peek, and a large percentage has already gone throughout the day.
There's always the thing with, we always know that it's going to be good with Carnation, don't we?
Yeah.
So, because in this particular card I have used that red wine colour at the back, which is very, very dark, and I've gone on top with colours that are also dark, I need to cool my tones. Or, you know, you don't have to. I like things to be cooled down. So I'm just going to cool it with these beautiful shapes that come in those nameplate nested dies, and I'm just going to place it right across the centre. I'm going to try and get that roughly even. Sorry about my noggin getting in the way.
Looks good.
And place it. Now I raised it up again, so I'm constantly building height. So if I place this way, you can see the height that I've got there. I'm building. What I want to see is that chunk. Now you don't see that foam tape when it's raised because obviously when the card's open it sits at an angle, so you're not seeing it. It's hidden, but I know that I can work with it. Now I took the basket from that beautiful rose that I love so much, the sack, sorry, I cut the flowers off and I popped this wee chap in. He's just glued with wet glue at the back and I've just got him sitting there. So
looks like he's just escaped.
He's so excited to be getting out of that little
Do remember
sack.
with the vignettes, if you go for the double-sided vignettes, you're going to have a left and a right-sided mouse as well. This picture here, or this card here, that was done by Lavinia, that shows you. So this is basically the double-sided vignette printed off, and then it gives you the opportunity of the mouse looking left or looking right, or both. So that's what you can do with the double-sided.
He's so cute. So from that, I'm just using my ball tool just to shape out this at the back, and then I'm just going to use a smaller edge. I'm just going to shape out his little nose and his little head just to give him a little bit of lift. And then I'm going to go in with a much smaller ball tool, if I can find the one I want. I'm just going to shape out his little ears just to give them a little bit of life. And just on his ear there is a give line on his ear. The paper, the fibre of the paper has been broken by Nick and the team already, so you do have that give. It will allow you to shape out his little ear from the front. So I don't know how well you can see it, but it now becomes more of a 3D shape. You get that protrusion just by using your ball tool at the back. We're going to raise him forward, and I'm going to place him around about here. Now I'm not sticking him down at this point because I've got other things to do with him, but it's just always looking, when we're doing composition, we are always comping in this way. So you're always looking, where do I want to go? What's next? How am I doing it? So I want him to be holding one of the flowers because I think he's cute, and I may as well have him holding something. So I'm going to take the flower that came from, it's the decoupage element from the flowers that came out of that sack set of flowers. I'm just going to use my ball tool. Remember, edge first, work your way spirally into the centre.
Now remember, if you are watching us live, it is just after 5:30 on Tuesday afternoon in the UK, but of course this can be watched back on YouTube at any time, and also of course on the website carnationcrafts.co.uk whenever you fancy. So provided you're seeing the show, no matter what day of the week it is, you can order. We've still got the stock, which is really good news.
Always good news. So we're just going to use a little bit of wet glue, and I'm just going to place a little bit of wet glue just on his paw and a tiny little bit on his little nose. It might not be needed on the nose. Up, Dave. Oh, up, Dave.
Oops a daisy.
Honestly, between Dave and I'm not sure who's the clumsiest.
Me.
I think we should have a competition. Don't put us in a competition doing that, Dave. You'll get broken.
Taz will help me out.
But she wouldn't help me out, though. And then I'd be left.
Thank you, Miss Taz.
It's the look that Taz gives us both, like we're both small children, and that she sort of sighs, and it's just like a moment of, oh dear Lord. Right, let's go round these. Remember, edge first.
Oh,
now.
Chris Riffshire. Hello, Chris. She said, I voted for you, Dave, in the awards. Oh, thank you so much, Chris. And Carnation Crafts, of course, love the Lacey collection, so of course have to have it. Nice
Isn't
one,
it
Chris.
Beautiful, Chris.
Yeah, if you wonder what we're talking about, it's the Craft Awards 2022. I'm pretty sure there's a link actually on Carnation Crafts website.
There is indeed.
So if you want to go there, that will take you through to Crafts Beautiful magazine, who do the awards, and just vote for your favourites. And if that happens to be us, thank you very much.
It's been so lovely because Carnation is so new to the market. You know, they're a brand new company, really. They're only 3 years old. They've made such great strides in actually showing us what we should be getting when we're buying die collections. They're leading the market, they're leading the way, and it's incredible to watch them progress. Because
and I'm so new to the market too.
You are... Yes, yes, Mr. Yes. Yes, you are correct. What I'll say about these roses that come from, look how pretty they are. What I will say about these is each petal has a cut line on it, which means we can really go into detail. I'm not going to do that in the show, but I will just show you that you can literally take this and do every single petal individually, and it gives it the most incredible look. And you've got cut lines between each petal here, so you can really go to town. It just means you can bring it to life. Now, I'm not going to do that for the rest of it because we don't have time, so if you're doing it just the way I'm doing it here, make sure you go around the edge first, work your way in a spiral towards that centre and push down in the middle.
Yellow is my favourite colour.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah. I think because it reminds me of the sunshine. When the sun's shining, I'm happy, smiling.
You're always happy and smiling, Mr. Dave.
Not always.
Well,
most of the time.
Sometimes.
When I'm here, I'm happy.
You are always happy when you're here. But that's because we're always a bit daft, let's face it.
And Phyllis always gives me a welcome.
And Phyllis loves you very, very much. I'm just going to place this here towards that edge. Do the same at the other side and just make sure he's not stuck down yet, so I can play and just squish it where I need it to be. The yellow on this is so vibrant.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Real sunshine yellow.
It is. Well, it's got the offset shading of orange, which I love. Orange is my favourite colour.
Oh, is it?
I love orange.
You
and
look
red.
good in orange, actually. Have you got your orange dress or something? Or?
Don't wear colour, Dave.
You've got some colour on
yeah,
today.
because they told me I'm not allowed to wear black on telly anymore.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise I'd be in black. Believe me, dude.
I tell you what, Doris is very, very well known for wearing black, but I saw her in a blue dress the other day. She looked fantastic.
Because she's been told she's not allowed to wear black on telly anymore, dude.
Ah, a bit like you.
We both got told, we both had a conversation about it as where we were like, rude. So I'm just going to place him over those roses. It plays with the white balance on the cameras if we wear black, because we've both got dark hair, although Doris is a lot less dark than mine. So you can't, it just looks like there's a floating head. So they've asked us to refrain from doing so on both channels. So that's why we are both in colour, against our will. It's like we've been kidnapped. But people keep saying to me, I saw you on telly and you were wearing colour. I'm like,
Don't go there.
Don't talk to me about it. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of wet glue here, and I'm just going to tuck in, and I've put a little gem on those flowers just to give it a glint, and I'm putting those little leaves, I want them to span outwards. I want to just extend that card base, so we're just placing in. I'm just going to raise that slightly just under this. Look how pretty that is.
Stunning, isn't it?
So gorgeous. I'm going to parallel that the other side, or do a little bit of symmetry with it. But it's in opposition because it's the other way. Look at this. So, so beautiful. God, what a privilege it is to do this with Carnation. Look how beautiful they are.
You can have. You've got the whimsy. If the little mouse isn't appropriate for whatever reason, you don't need to use him or her, but they're there. And if you've already got some of the other collections with the other mice in, of course, as well, this one's going to fit in beautifully well. They're always... Every collection that you buy from Carnation isn't just a solitary collection. They all interchange with each other. So you can bring a little bit of this into the previous collection you bought maybe a month ago or whenever. And remember, this is a very important day. We do this once every month. I'm only here one day a month at Carnation Crafts TV. I'd love it to be more, but it's one a month at the moment, which is when we do a launch that's exclusive just for you, your channel, our channel, your you know, where you're watching at home, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or indeed at carnationcrafts.co.uk. This is the launch day today. This is our third show of 3. If you want to order, you can order at any time, provided we've got stock, so you can watch this show back again and again and again, or on a different day or whatever. But the main collection is what most of you are going for in the Buy the Show. Now, the Buy the Show includes everything you see here except the verses. The verses are completely individual and separate, okay, because they have been on air before. They're not brand new, but they do kind of fit this collection really nicely. So if you want them on their own, they are available. But if you go for the Buy the Show, you're going to get all of these dies on the top shelf, including Nearly Grown Up, including the flowers, including the teapot, and also including the freshly picked. You won't get the verses, but you will get the beautiful hearts that we talked about, and you'll also get a full pack of perfect papers if you buy the show. And that's what your basket will look like. So just basically put the embroidery and lace collection in first at $99.99. The perfect papers, the embroidery and lace perfect papers, the colours that coordinate with the vignettes, the artwork beautifully, just $14.99. And then my favourite of the show, not that I should really have a favourite, is the Carnation Crafts Open Heart die set, which is a locket in a card. Genius, for $22.99. Add it all together, it comes to just under £140. But remember, with that all-important 10% discount code, CCEL10, that will be, for all of you watching right now, that gets you £13.80 off your bill. And also it means there's no shipping and handling either. It includes your P&P. There's no P&P charge if you spend over 50 quid. So it's $124.17. Now, the easiest way to actually split the payments, if you want to, we can give you either Clear Pay, which is up to 4 interest-free payments. That's only £31.04 for each payment. If you want PayPal Pay in 3, I know loads of you have got PayPal accounts, $41.39 will be your first payment of 3 with PayPal Pay in 3. That's if you want to buy the show, which lots of you have done today. But of course, we're very well aware that budgets are stretched and so on at the moment. So if you want to just go maybe for the heart on its own, or you want to go for some individuals on their own, they're all on the website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. I just want to show you as many of the finished cards as I can. I know some of them I haven't shown you yet today. Pam Simpson, hi Pam if you're watching, she's done this one. And another twist, this time on that diamond shape combination of dies, really gorgeous. And there it is, just cut in white cardstock, but white risen up with some foam pads gives you that shadow beneath it, which is lovely. If that was just flat on the back card, it wouldn't look as effective as it does raised up. But there you've got that bouquet of flowers in the vase there as well. Used it as an easel card, as you can see here. Really, really stunning. So there we go. Thank you, Pam, for that one. Another one, I showed you this earlier on, but I think it's just gorgeous, and it's making the card into a gift. Janine Dawson's done this one, so a beautifully embroidered handkerchief in there, whether it's one that's been done by hand or machine, I'm not quite sure. But then, of course, it's a gift on the front of the card too. So that's another way of doing it. This is showing you the vignettes, the mirrored vignettes I talked about. So you've got either a front and back or a left and right, because that's what the mirrored vignettes give you. So it's basically the same mouse, but using the back and then using the front, which gives them, of course, they're joining hands. Really sweet.
They love each other. It's
They
like
do
you
love
and
each
Miss
other.
Phyllis.
It is, yeah, absolutely. Inseparable, me and Phyllis. Now, we've also got another one here that shows you, and you mentioned this earlier on, Carla, that the different shape, the main dies, work together well because you've got the same flowers in the same 4 places or 5 places on the front. So you can put the circle behind the diamond could be behind the circle. It works well with the DL design as well. So very, very unusual. I've not seen that layering before like that.
No, I love it, and I love the fact that they've taken the time to make it work. It's important because we have now a ton more ways of playing with those because we can create our own dynamic shapes.
And also the dies that make the mats and layers also make awesome apertures. So lots of different uses for them. See?
Yeah, you can make amazing layered apertures as well.
Actually, that diamond on top of that DL looks amazing.
Yeah, doesn't it? I mean, it's the impact, isn't it? It's a small thing, but it's a massive thing. And look how that works when you put it together to create that aperture that goes through, and then you see it working together on the inside. It's super clever. Again, a million ways of playing with this. That's the point with Carnation. We're never stuck with just the one thing.
What better way, get well soon card with a nice big cup of tea, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. and the cozy, the tea cozy. Love it to bits. So there it is, 220801. It's the last live show of the day, but of course lots of you I know when you get home from work or later this evening or tomorrow will watch the shows back. We get masses of interest for the next few days during the week. So, and there is another live show tomorrow. Doris is here.
Doris, it's me and Doris.
Yeah, so you're back tomorrow 4:30 for an hour and a half. So if you can't watch this show, maybe you've got to go out and do something with the kids or whatever, thinking, oh no, I'm going to miss it. Watch it back later on, but also join live tomorrow from 4:30 UK time. That's of course with Doris and Carla.
So let's have a look at that heart shape and have a little quick demo with that, because I think it's just spectacular. So what we've got is the main heart shape itself. So this is the piece that we're cutting out. Now you can get this in colour or you can get it in plain white, and underneath you get the mat for it. Now what I've done in this instance is stuck two together, overlapping. So I've got that beautiful three-way petal shape that comes through. And I'm going to cover this line so you won't see it, but we create this beautiful petal that comes through it. So in order to make the card base for that, I made sure I matched it up, and the bottom piece I took the edge off, because obviously on that point it's just going to fall over. So you create a flat base for it, and that means it will stand up from the back. I'm just going to take this off. I've got it scored at 1/2 inch, and I'm going to pull that away and make sure it's facing my body. I've got my flat edge there, but obviously I need to be more careful when I'm doing it this way, because I obviously can't butt them up together. So you've got to make sure you've got it in the right place. Just take the time to do that and make sure it's even, and then all I'm going to do is very gently and carefully push that through. So I've got my card base, which is then going to sit very nicely, thank you very much, in a formation like that. So it's super easy to do, but it's just a different idea, a different way. We like different ways of playing, Mr. Dave.
We do.
Now on here I've put a piece of red liner tape on each hinge, and I've put a piece of red liner tape down here, and I'm not going to stick it flat, although beautiful it looks. But when you see it like this, and you can see how we get the extra sort of petals, you're making like a floral shape, and I love that so much. And I could stick that flat and I would be super proud of that. I think it's super pretty, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is make sure first of all that I fold it in half, and I just make sure that score line is there and that it's pushed down so that I know I've got the shape. I'm going to take my hinges and I'm going to pull them forward before I ever take that red liner tape off. I'm going to do the same at the other side. So I've got them completely away from each other in that formation, so you can see them laying flat as they are. And then I will take the time, now that I know that those creases are in place, to just remove my red liner tape.
And don't forget that discount code. It's not always on the screen, but it is active throughout the entire show for everything. CCEL10. Okay, CCEL10. Put that in the promo box. No matter what you buy, you'll get 10% off at checkout.
So I'm just removing this. It's harder with the small pieces, I will say, especially with my rather large sausages or fingers. Right, what I'm going to do, carefully, make sure I've got the point on the edge of my multimedia mat so that I know that I'm in the right place on the base. That's taken care of. Now I'm going to take this. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of just gear it up. It's like you're at a gym and you're warming up your card base. And all I'm going to do is make sure I've got my edge first, and I'm going to place where that red liner tape is and just make sure it's sticking at that point. I'm going to raise this, make sure I've got that poking forward, put my first hinge down, and then I'm going to copy that on the other side. So gear your paper up first.
Didn't see this one coming, Carla.
So then I've got this beautiful raise on my heart, and I've created a pocket.
Love it.
Pretty, right?
Yeah, really pretty.
Something different. It allows your shadow play to really come through. We're making some shadows that are just incredibly beautiful underneath, because all of that light is playing with it. Now, it doesn't do so well in the studio, but I can tell you face to face, that is absolutely incredible. It looks so pretty. What I'm going to do from there is start filling my gaps. So I've got my little wee chap here who I love so much. I'm going to take my ball tool, so I'll take this one. So we're always looking for one that's about the appropriate size. Every single piece of hair, look at all these strands of hair that have been cut in with the die. So we're going to go in with that, and I'm just going to go around the edges, and I'm just going to follow that round. Then I'm going to go in with the smaller one, do the cuff of that neck on his jumper. just to maybe give it that rounding shape and into the neckline, into the décolletage.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to work around the edge here. Break the fibres on your edge first. So again, around his cuffs on that edge, and then break it
I just
through.
think it's the most imaginative image. I mean, who came up with the idea of a kid in an oversized jumper? I mean, it's probably all of our childhood at some point we've done something like that. But
I mean, I
Carnation,
still do stuff like that.
do you?
Yeah. Yeah, my friend once dared me not that long ago to try and put a baby romper suit on because she convinced herself an adult could get into it. I could not get out of it, and I started to get very panicky. I did have a traumatic moment of
So you
getting
did the
very
opposite.
panicky.
Rather than putting something oversized, you did it undersized.
Yeah, I couldn't get out of it.
Not surprised.
At my age, at the age of 47, you should not still be playing those games, Dave, but still it makes me laugh. It's just one of those
It makes
things.
you happy. That's the most important thing.
It doesn't take much, I'll be totally honest, but it really made me giggle at the time. Right, so pull his little head forward so you're creating that shape that's more 3D, and I'm just going to put some pin flip just at the bottom, so it'll be on here around this edge where the red is and on his feet. The rest of it I'm leaving because I want him to overhang the card, and I don't want the pin flare to squish out from the back and be overhung there.
I think he's playing hide and seek, and he thinks no one can see him. But
Because-
how wrong is he?
Well, you can't see him. That's why I used to say to my children, I don't know where you are. But the great thing about that was they could stay there for hours because they would just carry on and carry on.
Quiet,
yeah, and they would be like, can you see me now? I'd be like, no, dude, you are so well hidden. Right, what I'm going to do at this point is use my pokey as my best friend because I've put that pin flare down, but I need to stick it. So what I'm doing is just squishing that through very, very gently with my pokey, and that's going to put him in place without me interfering with the glue and the positioning of it because I don't want it to come squishing out. So I've got him just poking through. He's very happy with his little self, but it's too naked. So we're going to go in and we're going to form it out. So I'm going to leave these relatively flat, but I'm going to shape it kind of around my fingers just here. And I'm going to use wet glue on these.
Okay. And don't forget, of course, the mats that Carla's using as well. That's on the website too if you want a fantastic silicone mat for all your, whether it's
I love
card
my
making,
multimedia
jewellery
mat.
making, whatever it might be that you want to use it for, is perfect for that. I
It's-
do a lot of model making, that's perfect for me.
Yeah, they're so awesome. I love them so much. Right, I'm just going to list this slightly. Remember, I only put red liner tape on the bottom of it. So I've got pokey time to just pull it through, and I can place that wherever. Look at this. Look how we start to build colour, right? So we build impact very, very quickly with these. So again, just using my fingers as my tool. Often the best tool in your whole toolbox is your own hand. I'm going to pull this forward. These bits I want to keep flat. Little bits of glue just on the edge. I don't want the whole thing to go down, just the edge here. And where it's raised, excuse my large sausage fingers, just poke, a little pokey poke through.
And although these flowers work so well with the collection, you can use them completely on their own. You don't have to use the heart, you don't have to use the circle or the diamond or the DL. You'll find so much versatility in everything that Carnation does.
It's always the same with Carnation. They're well thought through. They're never sort of sitting on their laurels. They are always, what can we do to make it better? What can we do to be better? What can we do to make it better for the customer? So again, with this sack, let's give it some shape. Edges first, always edges first. I'm sure you will get bored of me saying this, but I will never stop saying it because you need to break the fibres. And there's always new viewers.
Please do tell your friends about us as well. It's a dedicated craft channel for Carnation Crafts only. It's their very own channel, which is just growing massively in popularity. And we have these exclusive launches, at least one of them a month. Lots of other shows to look forward to, of course, as well. And of course, the fact you can interact with the show and ask questions, say hi.
I mean, the thing is, subscribing on YouTube, which is free to do, and hitting the notification bell massively helps the channel grow, because obviously that if people are liking and subscribing, YouTube know that, and they start to promote the show themselves. If that doesn't happen, they don't. That's just how social media works. So anything you can do would be massively appreciated from us. It's free for you to do, and it does really help the channel.
And Mary Morgan says, hello, lovely lady from Virginia.
Hello, Mary. Are
Hi,
you
Mary.
all right? So I'm just placing this wee orchid in this little sack of flowers here, and I'm just going to put some pin flare right on the poke of my heart down here. So I know I've got the right sizings. I know halfway between my 2 pips is where I want to lay it. This means I'm going to get it straight. It's like ice in a cake. I've already done my shaping here. A beautiful orchid. And I'm going to place that down right in the centre.
I love the way you got that height to the heart. That's
Yeah,
so
I
different.
think just building that height,
Yeah.
it means we can tuck things behind, we can make things sort of more full, you know, and adding height up here and adding those florals out at the side. So we're pushing the limits of it, and it makes it just this beautiful set of colours. It's really, really rich, but it's really, really easy to do. And when you've got it laid like that, as your recipient would, you can start to see how that heart, you know, the pushing on that heart to make it centrally upwards gives you that beautiful shape for your centre.
You've got guaranteed wow with Carnation. That's always the case. Yes, you've sometimes got whimsy, the kid with the jumper on and stuff like that, and the little mouse as well. But if that's not appropriate, you don't have to always use it. But it is there, so it's a little bit like it's a bit of everything. You've got the comical and the kind of whimsical and the cute, but then you've also got the very, very elegant, sophisticated, which is what Carnation does so well. And Nick and the team with the art and everything, all of those vignettes, the artwork in other words, posh word for artwork, all of them are there for you to enjoy right now. So I can imagine all of your printers are working overtime right this minute, because you can go to carnationcrafts.co.uk, go to the vignette downloads, and you'll see the artwork for the embroidery and lace collection. And if it doesn't come up on the home page, the actual collection, just basically put embroidery into the search and it will come up, and it will show you the latest collection to come out today. So it's $99.99 for everything apart from the verses. The verses and sentiments are completely separate. They have been on air before previously, but they are in the show because they go so well with it. But you'll get everything bar the sentiments for $99.99, under £100, amazing value. The other option, remember, we do have some slightly smaller collections which will be on the website as well, and you can buy all of these individually too if you just want to cherry pick what you want. But don't forget, of course, if you buy the show, you need to put the heart locket card dies into your basket, which is what we've done there. That's the third item down. Only $22.99. I think that will be one of the most versatile investments in dies you'll ever make, as far as I'm concerned. And then you've got the main collection at the top, and of course the perfect papers. It's not paper really, it's cardstock. 300 GSM, 48 sheets in all the colours that coordinate and match with the artwork that you can enjoy today. And remember, the guys at Carnation, not only are they getting your order today, they're picking it today, they're packing it right now, and they're posting it probably, if not tonight, first thing tomorrow morning. So you should get it, if not tomorrow, the day after. That's how quickly we can get it out to you. Obviously, if it's the US, it will take a bit longer to get to you, but not that much longer at all. And you could be making cards just like this, and all the cards around us here. I love my day a month at Carnation.
We love having you here,
I
Mr.
love it. I really,
Dave.
really do. And I love the interaction with you on Facebook and YouTube and all of that as well. So I'm going to be back in a month's time. I'm not sure the exact date. I think it's the 5th, isn't it, Taz, next month? Yeah, 5th next month with the next exclusive launch. Our very own Dawn is going to be here tomorrow, Doris as we affectionately know her, and that's from 4:30 until 6 UK
It
time.
is indeed 4:30 until 6 o'clock, so we've got extended time to do a few more demos in it, and we are also here, I think, the day after. Is it the day after, Taz? Day after,
Yes.
but that'll just be me on my own.
So remember, if you've missed the earlier show, which was at 11 o'clock, and the other one, which was at 2 o'clock, you can watch those back in your own time, either on Facebook or at Carnation Crafts, or indeed on YouTube. And you can still order. The stock is going quickly, but there's still hopefully enough for everybody. Thank you, Carla.
Ta love.
Thank you, Taz.
Okay.
And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.